Welcome. We are crossing the Nerdverse, bringing you yet another episode. My name is Travis. I am joined as always by my fantastic co-hosts, Eric and the side of Ryan's face. Oh, there he is. There's the front of him.
I'm still here. It's my good side.
I feel you. I don't have one. I'm just default setting is bad. But with that, we're going to be talking about the newest release for Warhammer, which is 11th edition, officially
Woo!
dropping Saturday. So if you have not pre-ordered or reserved your box of Blood Angels versus Orcs, you are probably going to be hard pressed to find one that's available.
Yeah, that's a fact.
If you were waiting for them to come available online, I recommend uh, logging in about 10 a.m. No, because that's 10. It's going to be 10 a.m. Texas time.
It's whatever 10 a.m. Texas
Noon
time is locally to
noon
you.
Eastern, noon Eastern time. Uh, you want to be on 2 hours before that. So
to try to get the ClickFest in.
that way you can queue, and then as soon as you're in, you want to pick that box and then check out immediately. Don't try to shop for other things. Grab your box, check out. That queue fills up fast. Boxes go very quickly. Um, Alternatively, though, you can always find them via scalpers.
Yeah, there's always going to be a scalper problem.
For double the price.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't matter
triple,
what it is.
easy.
Actually, I will say I got mine. One of mine, I missed out on the opportunity to get it online. It was the limited edition Space Wolf box. I managed to get mine off eBay for like $10 over what they were selling for online, which is not outrageous, but there were some of those boxes going for like $500-600. I was like, that's insane.
Oh yeah,
like I'm not doing that.
Well, and scalpers have always been an issue, right? And apparently this is going to be our new segment, but
I mean, scalpers are going to exist in every situation, regardless. Like, there's just no way to get rid of them.
With the 10th edition release of Warhammer 40K, man, that was the first time I'd ever actually felt the squeeze so hard, because everything was sold out before you could even get into the website. Everything was done with pre-orders before you get into the website, and it was all just ending up on eBay.
So they do different release. They release in waves now. So England will have its own individual release. Europe will have its release. The Asian markets will have their release, and then North America has its release.
That makes sense. I can get down with that.
That way you're not having to log in at 2 a.m. because that's when it releases in England, which is like a normal time during the day or whatever. They do it based on like hemispheres now, I think. So it's like slightly better, but still kind of
as good as we can get it.
Yeah, you still want to make sure you're in early to make sure you make it into the queue, and then you want to check out instantly. So may the odds be ever in your favor if you're hopping online to do that.
But yeah, so prior to the Warhammer stuff, we'll just go over like some current events like we always do, things that are going on. The big one for me that I wanted to talk about, and I'd shared it in our chat, the StarCraft miniatures game that's coming out. I thought it was rather interesting. They released the info at the same time that Warhammer put some info out.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, actually.
I think you're reading more into that than is there. I think they made their announcement, which is like, I don't even think it's an announcement for the full miniature game. I think it was like a rules update.
No, it's for the game.
Well,
I know it's for the game, but I'm pretty sure it's just an update, because I'm pretty sure the StarCraft miniatures game has existed for a while.
Yeah, that actually might be true. Yeah, I've put a lot of thought into that particular release of information. If it is something new, while I'm waiting for my computer to catch up here, you gotta assume that the play is to try to make themselves stay in the public's eye while Warhammer stuff, because you're not making a miniatures game and ignoring Warhammer's releases. But I would be amazed if StarCraft didn't have a miniatures game up until this point.
Well, I mean, the big thing is if I'm not mistaken, like some of the enemies for StarCraft were taken from Warhammer initially.
Yeah, I'll be damned. So
Oh, it is new.
pre-orders March 10th, not releasing until July 2026.
So that's the big thing. Is like, I feel like they're like, what is the Zergs in StarCraft? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to be very similar to like.
They're the Tyranid.
Yeah, and then the
Tyranid are the
is,
Zergs. It's
and Protoss, isn't that like the Necrons?
No,
they'd be the Eldar.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the two. The only thing I found very interesting was that they only have like the 3 iconic factions that are coming out with it: the Terran, the Zerg, and the Protoss.
This is the only 3 factions I know of in StarCraft.
But I'll be curious because, like, when you look at Warhammer, they have like Space Marines, but then you have all the different chapters and things like that. I'd be curious if they're going to.
Oh, you're looking at like sub factions and such.
Yeah,
I could care less. I've already got my brand of plastic crack. I'm not changing now.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of StarCraft. I think StarCraft is cool. I really enjoy some of the multiplayer aspect they put out for StarCraft 2. Me and our buddy Ugly play that, or used to play that pretty frequently.
I'm interested about the price point though, because it looks cheaper.
I'm interested in the price point.
The other thing I would be interested in is like, yeah, if the price point is cheaper, what's the model quality?
Yeah. Well, and right now I have 3, technically 4, but only 3 are hand painted. 4 miniatures games that I play. One of them is the X-Wing miniatures game, which is no longer in business.
Sad. That one was actually super fun. I liked it.
It is amazing. I play that one once a week at a minimum, especially with my buddy Joe. I love that game. That is one of the best miniatures games I've ever played in my life. I also play Malifaux, War Machine, and of course Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. I guess Age of Sigmar and 40k.
Boo, Age of Sigmar, boo. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Age of Sigmar is pretty good, man.
It's not bad. They got rid of my dwarves, so I'm just like, meh.
Brought them back now. I don't know if you saw that, but they got a full army release.
It's like, what do they call it? Legends or Tales of Old or some stuff like that. I forget.
Truth be told, I haven't followed.
Yeah.
Honestly, since COVID, if I'm being honest, I haven't jumped into like the Warhammer.
Yeah, I've got, like I said, I've already got
my stuff.
I've already got my brand of plastic crack. I can't change now. I can't build a new gray pile of shame.
Yeah, that's the big one. Is just going to be to see like what StarCraft does. I don't think they're going to directly try to compete with Warhammer, just because you can't.
No,
but
unless they just absolutely blow this out of the water, I don't foresee being able to dethrone Games Workshop as the king of the miniatures gaming.
No, yeah, no. Price point though, and the gameplay will be what drives it. So if the price point's good, which it looks like it will be, and the miniature quality is good, I mean, they could give them a run for their money, because a lot of people are getting fed up with how much it's starting to cost for Warhammer. It's getting, I guess, kind of ridiculous. I don't really know. I don't buy that often.
For something that has always been a ridiculous price point, definitely a luxury game, prices to 2022 have been increasingly outrageous, to the point where they make no sense at all, at least to me. Now, I'm going to recognize that I'm old man screams at clouds, right? I want my price points back from 1999.
I'm looking at their price structure right now on StarCraft, and it's really not all that much cheaper.
Is it not?
No. The Protoss starter set is anywhere between 109 to 129, which is pretty typical for.
Actually, that's less than half of what it would be for Warhammer 40k.
No, it's not. It's Ryan. It's $150 for a battle box. Like, I was on Warhammer's site today. It's 150 to like 160 for your regular, just like, what are they? Not battle box. What are they called?
Oh, you're talking about a combat patrol.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is your starter box.
Okay. Yeah. I am going to give you that. Yeah.
Yeah. Combat patrol 155. So it's not like.
What's the miniature count in that Protoss?
Insanely left? I have no idea. I'm just looking at the prices. Individual characters are anywhere between 29 and 55, which again is it's slightly cheaper, but it's not like blow you out of the water cheaper. The only thing I will say is their 2-player starter set is significantly cheaper than the Warhammer ones, being at $229 for MSRP.
That's still similar to what Warhammer's got their set up for.
Yeah, there's like 270, I think. 275 was like the last one. They're all in like army bundles are ranging anywhere from 289 to 750.
Interesting.
And that depends on the scale of the faction. So I don't think the price point is going to be that insanely better, because you're only talking about like 129. You're talking about like a $50 difference for the starter set as opposed to a combat patrol for Warhammer.
Yeah.
So not like it is like $50 is $50, right? I'm not knocking that.
Well, that's true, but
it's not like you're paying $75 for the starter box, which would be significant.
Well, then there are certain things. So the Commissar Yark, right? He's a major
Yeah.
character in the Armageddon setup that we're going to be talking about today. He's actually my main focus on a lot of these kind of releases, because he will now be my third Commissar Yark. The first one I got was a metal blister, because they used to call them blister packs, and he was $15 compared to the newest one, which is infinitely higher quality, is $48.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the crap cast that I got for $22 was crap cast.
At least he's not resin cast.
Oh man, fine cast was the worst thing that ever
I was
happened.
like, what did Games Workshop always call it? Fine cast. And the details on the fine cast models are insane.
Admittedly, whenever they're not full of holes.
But yeah,
so
really gotta clean those suckers good, or nothing is sticking to them.
But yeah, we'll see what StarCraft does, though. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Like, big thing will probably be the single units you buy too. Like, we got to see how those prices pan out and stuff. So it should be fun. Maybe it'll get Warhammer to do some different stuff. You guys got anything else you wanted to talk about?
I do have some other
thing.
I do have one other deal I wanted to bring up for my news. Similar to you, I actually tried to stick to the miniatures realm in order to be themed with tonight's content. So Lego just made an announcement and a release using their new smart bricks, which I had no idea how they were going to use the Lego smart brick. I talked about that during our episode. But they unveiled a huge line of Pokemon sets, breaking down their new training tech sets, hidden Easter eggs, and the use of interactive smart play features from fan favorites like Mew, Charizard, and Jolteon, to read the article that I'm looking at right now. And so that's going to be the major investment for the Lego Smart Brick is into Pokemon collector sets, which I know for our Lego fans out there, getting some new Pokemon sets I know is going to be excited. I personally don't have a lot of respect for the Smart Brick, but I must be missing something. So if any of you out there are super excited about the Lego Smart Brick and how it's going to be used, drop us some comments down below. Let me know what I'm missing. Educate me, because I'm missing what the Smart Brick actually does.
If you're exceptionally poor, tell us how you use bricks for entertainment. I used to throw them at things.
We had a stick and a rock, and we had to share the rock.
Actually,
what about you, Travis? You got anything?
Wild personal story I have to tell. I once entertained myself for an entire afternoon using trash bricks and a 5-pound sledge, and had a great time. I would just set them up on a tree stump and then just smash the brick with the hammer as hard as I could to see how far pieces would fly.
Oh yeah.
I lived in the middle of nowhere. It's not like I was going to pop in and watch TV. We had ABC, NBC, and CBS, and I can tell you right now, their mid-afternoon programming was not great. Did get to watch a lot of Golden Girls.
Great show. Just on that.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I watched.
Oh yeah, I know. Just saying it was a great show.
No, I don't have any like news things.
So the other thing I got is that PlayStation had some controversial things going on. The biggest one being now is that PlayStation wants you to sign on at least once every 30 days to use your digital video games now.
What?
So while most of us are online anyways, they want you to have you have to basically at least once every 30 days, you have to sign into your PlayStation account and everything. And I guess it would be an update probably or something like that. And quite a few people, I guess, are upset about it.
Yeah, I would be. What are they doing if you don't log in every 30 days?
They're bricking your box.
Well, it sounds like if you have digital games, not the hard copies, but if you have digital games, it sounds like you won't be able to play them.
Are you gonna have to
So,
like
If I drop
re-download
$60 on a game and don't log in once a month, they're taking it back?
well, you'll have issues playing it, I guess.
I'm very interested to see the details on that particular lineup because PlayStation can lick my quad about that.
Yeah, I have a strong opinion about that. Ryan summed it up though. There's no
Yeah.
way that actually gets rolled out. I don't foresee that being a thing.
Yeah, ain't.
Could you
there
imagine if
must be some
Steam was just like,
nuance or
if you don't log in
details.
for 30 days, we're taking all of the 200 games you have?
Yeah,
I know
there's
that.
there's got to be something. You know, I've already complained to the end of the episode about Netflix, and not Netflix is a bad example, but Amazon Prime is the one that got me. I can't stand the fact that Amazon Prime will have a video and I buy that video. It's in my library. Huzzah, I own it. Heavy air quotes. And then if they decide to take it off their servers, they just take it off their servers. So,
which means you don't own.
I don't own shit.
I got Ryan to say it. 16 minutes. First
word. Damn. All right.
Wasn't me for once. But yeah, so this basically sounds like it's going to be another way to like control your digital media, I guess. Basically,
we'll see if that gets officially rolled out. That's a weird announcement.
I'm already moving back to physical copies, physical ownership only, and so now
I will say there was something very nostalgic about unwrapping the game for the first time. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do is travel to my friends' houses and finish peeling off the sticky tape that they used to put across the top of them, because my psychopath friends would just cut the top part and then leave the stickies on the side. And I don't know if you've ever been friends with serial killers. Ryan.
No, that did pass.
And ugly.
I prefer the term sociopath.
If he's listening.
Okay.
Real quick, just so you guys know, that is going through. Like, that is what's going to be going on with it.
Well, they're about to lose a major amount of their base if that's the case. Can you imagine what that's gonna? If you don't log in for 30 days, you just don't own your shit anymore. Like
PlayStation users, Steam's free to log into. You can just create a free Steam account and then pop in whenever.
That's an absurd. Why would they want that?
They're straight up just deciding to lose to Xbox again. They're like, well, we beat them last round.
Does it save them on some kind of like server data or something? Why would they care? How does that make them any money?
I don't know. I don't like it. Anyway.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. I'm going to have to read more into that to figure out what's going on behind the scenes to precipitate this.
That's just another way for them to kind of control your digital sales and stuff like that.
That's kind of what it looks like. Is it's just a control thing, because otherwise, why would they care? Oh, nuts. Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
so I guess let's go ahead and get into our main body here.
Fight about Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, the fire up. Edition changes for Warhammer 40K. For those of you that don't know, this is one of the most heated, controversial times in the game for everybody.
Everybody will have opinions at the same time.
Yeah. Everybody will have opinions for the new one versus the old one. People that got used to the last one are going to bitch and complain about the new one, and every little detail that's different from the old edition to the new edition will have people that are excited about it and people that absolutely hate it.
I called the first 3 months before and after a Warhammer edition release Schrodinger's edition, because it is simultaneously the most loved and hated edition of all time. Which honestly, I think we can all look back in our lives, those of us that have been playing Warhammer for a while, and say we hated 6th edition.
Yeah.
6th edition was bad, especially if you were a Space Wolf player, because we became the most expensive army for no reason. Every other Space Marine Legion got chainswords for free. I had to pay extra.
You know what? Actually, that brings up a point. So generally, with every edition, there will be 2 flagship releases, right? These are going to be the contested units that are fighting in the big release, and a major focus for the lore moving forward. Now, one thing Warhammer 40K does that I very much enjoy is the lore continues to evolve and grow. Time continues to progress inside the setting.
Yeah.
And every release of the edition, that lore continues. Sometimes they will choose a specific locale, like we're seeing with 11th edition. Other times we see major overhauls to the entire galaxy. Cadia stands. So those 2 factions,
Maledictum.
yeah, the 2 factions that are your flagship releases rotate a lot, and they've done nearly everybody except for some of the newest factions that I'm aware of. I hate it whenever my faction is a flagship release. Cannot stand it. The last time Necrons were a flagship release, I abandoned them. I don't mess with them anymore. I'm done.
8th?
I think it was 8th, yeah. Now I have my bitches and complaints about 8th edition by itself. My Necrons are the weirdest complaint I've ever had when it comes to 8th edition. Because here's why. One of the Necrons' most prominent army abilities, the thing that they were most known for, is called Reanimation Protocol.
Took that away in 8th.
Yeah, well, so they had it, strictly speaking, they just made it feel no pain. Which was
it's true. It's exactly
incredibly powerful, but it was so fucking boring. I couldn't stand it. And so all of the like sweaty tryhards were out there with Necrons because Reanimation Protocols gave your entire army feel no pain 5+ or 4+, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think you were like 5 up. Unless
Yeah.
you had a specific character on the field, and then it became like a 4 or 3.
And so they're all over the tournament scene because everybody's like, look how strong this is. And it was super strong. If there's a 30% chance that your shots don't count when you're firing at my army, that's fantastic. It's so boring, and I hate it.
Yeah, they at least fixed that in the change from 9th to 10th.
Yeah,
Your
they did.
reanimation protocols came back as an actual reanimation to where they died and then came back instead of I just ignored that hit.
Yeah, which they adjusted it into 9th as well. I actually think the reanimation protocols and several of the rules for the Necron faction were fantastic through 10th. And actually, that's going to open up.
I got to give 10th its props, right?
Yeah.
10th had its problems on release, which every rule set for every game is going to have problems on release. Like, we're just going to get that out of the way. 11th edition is also going to have problems.
Things that were overlooked, that kind of stuff.
10th, fairly balanced. I mean, looking just strictly at the tournament scene, obviously, Space Marines, number 1, right? It's the most popular army. Yeah. They're always going to be number 1, right? Is what it is. But your meta was pretty balanced as far as anything goes. Like, each army could pair up pretty well. Tau still struggle against orcs, which, shocker.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, everybody struggles against orcs. I think we can actually say
dude,
it.
Orcs are...
I will be the first to admit,
my biggest struggle has been Imperial Guard. I get wiped out by dudes with flashlights.
I love my Guard. When I finally moved into Guard for my primary Imperial faction, because I tried to be a Space Marine player, and I chose the worst timing of all time. Because I decided I was going to have one army for each of the 3 factions, mega factions in 40K, right? I want an Imperial army, I want a Xenos army, and I want a Chaos army. I crushed it with my Chaos army. I absolutely love my Alpha Legion. They're fantastic.
Alpha Legion is not Chaos.
Yeah, I agree with you. But when I was looking at my Imperial army, it's like, well, I mean, might as well have Space Marines. They're super cool. I know the most about their lore anyway. All they got to do is pick whatever obscure faction or a chapter that I enjoy. I'll paint them up. It'll be great. So I bought a boatload of Space Marines. Just all in one big fell swoop, basically army in a box. I had them for about 4 months, and Primaris dropped. And suddenly all those firstborn units were technically still in the game. But they were worthless.
I Not entirely. I won 2 games with Firstborns against Primaris armies.
Oh, I should clarify. Not necessarily worthless rules wise.
Oh, yeah.
I actually liked Primaris models better.
Oh, they're so good.
The Primaris sculpts are so
Such
awesome.
a good improvement.
So I think the big thing we need to talk about with this Armageddon thing is if you haven't had a chance to check out the video, you should definitely check out the video that was released. I think it was pretty cool.
The cinematic trailer.
I do want to talk about some stuff that came up in the trailer.
Yeah. Me and Travis slightly disagreed with the trailer only because I feel like somehow they're going even darker and making the universe even darker than what it already is.
It's already the grimdark.
Wait,
how much
I know it
worse
is, but
can it get?
I actually feel like it took it to a level where it's even more dark and grim than what it already was.
Wait,
why?
Is this your first Warhammer trailer?
No, but it just
Are
felt
you
like
sure?
that.
So
it's honestly it's my first release one. It's definitely that like first release edition one. I've watched some of the shows and different things for Warhammer since I've gotten into it and read the books and stuff like that. It just, to me, for whatever reason, the vibe I got from the video was just that it seemed like they were going in a more dark direction. It seemed very focused on one particular thing, which we'll get into as we talk the video. I'll let Travis take it over.
Before we get into that, I got to tell you, that blows my mind to hear. The reason being is because I actually feel opposite. I feel like they took this trailer and they made it much more hopeful than it has ever been in 40K.
We're all over the spectrum. We have super dark. We have more hopeful, and then I'm sitting here right in the middle, like, nah, man, it still sucks. It sucks to be anyone in the Warhammer 40K universe.
And that's just weird to hear you say that. That shocks me. And I'm not just being like adversarial.
No, I know.
That blows my mind because there's some stuff in the trailers that I thought were interesting, right? Which we'll get into. Yeah. But as a whole, I actually felt like there was a lot of focus on the Imperium. There always is. That part's stock standard. But I actually think that they are giving us some direct evidence to some questions that have remained unanswered for decades. Like the fact that, is the Emperor actually even there, conscious or at all in the Astronomicon? And they want to act like he is.
That was a big focus of this release trailer.
And up until this point, for the last 40 years, there's really good evidence that he's never been awake, conscious, alive at all.
That's not true. He spoke directly to Guilliman. That is confirmed in the books.
Through the bias of the novel, right? Because that's always been the kicker.
How else are we going to have lore if it's not the story?
That's the point with 40K, is everything's canon and nothing's canon. Right, everything is so heavily...
Guilliman confirms it, right? It's not like he went in to speak with the Emperor and we don't know what he said. Guilliman personally reflects on his meeting with the Emperor.
I do agree with you, but something to bear in mind is that there will always be something that could come out down the line that disqualifies that. Like, it could be chaos manipulation, right? He could very much feel like he was talking to the Emperor.
Ooh, that's going to be a hard retcon.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it would be, but they've done hard retcons like that before.
That's true. That's true. Retcons of that scale have been less common. Recently in the lifespan of 40K. But
I think my stance on a lot of it actually comes down to, and we'll get into the lore in a different episode, but I think it comes down to the fact that if I can't trust all of it, then you can't trust any of it.
That's fair.
And so to your point, Eric, with this trailer, I think that they very much tried to say, like, the Imperium is at the strongest point that it's ever been. Things are looking great. Our armies are doing amazing things. And look, the Emperor is actually doing some big shit. And it was the most, like, it made me kind of peeved. It made me very much like, no, there's not supposed to be hope. There's not supposed to be hope in 40K. There never has been. There never should be. This is not the Care Bears time where Big Daddy Guilliman's going to come in and just sword at stuff until everybody's happy and free. Like, it bothered me.
I didn't pick up on that at all, really, in regards to the Emperor. So those of you that haven't watched it, the Emperor is a major focus of a portion of that trailer, right? It also feels more along the lines of a stance of a propaganda video.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Where the Empire is trying to, like, the Empire of Man is trying to tell you that everything's okay, but then you have the voiceover in the back, specifically when they get to the Emperor. So it flicks through rather rapidly a series of pictures of the Emperor, while they discuss openly what his status is, and there's still no confirmation on it, right? You see the long black hair, shining gold armor Emperor. You see the one sitting regally on his throne, attached to all of the machines, which was one of the early images that they used for the Emperor of Mankind. And then finally, you see the decayed carcass of, like, desiccated, decaying flesh sitting upon the golden throne. And they ask openly, like, 1,000, they state openly 1,000 psychers are sacrificed a day to power, to feed the Emperor of Mankind, but is he even awake?
Yeah, those 1,000 souls could be feeding
words
directly into the Astronomicon.
There was some other imagery in there that I think was very pointed and telling, one of them being the big hourglass that you always saw. Every time they would cut back to any image of the Emperor, there was always an hourglass nearby or within one of the flickers of it. What this means could be anything. It's really open to interpretation. I am going to throw my theory out, is that he's about to awaken as another chaos entity.
That's been a theory for a long time.
Yeah.
To the point where the Legion of the Damned is kind of the crux stone for me on that one. The fact the Legion exists at all kind of shows.
I think he's going to be kind of like Yoned. I think there's going to be the awakening of a new god. Because you had Ynnari awaken for the Eldar, which is their goddess of death, but it's not a complete awakening. I think we're going to see maybe something similar with it. Who knows? Maybe that's how long is left for the Astronomicon to work, because the Golden Throne is failing, right? That's been brought up in multiple stories. The Golden Throne was not meant to be doing what it's doing, because it was never designed for Big E to sit in it.
Well, and here's the kicker. They've spent the last edition, right, since the breaking of Cadia and the introduction of the Malleus Maledictum, showing that's the one, showing that the Empire doesn't need it anymore. There's an entire half of the galaxy that they call the dark side. It's over there. Can't see the Astronomicon. Have no navigation capability, and over the course of the last 100 years in the setting, have learned how to navigate without the Astronomicon.
Yep.
We could be looking at the failure of the chair.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look at our main armies. Armageddon on the wrong side of the wall. Baal and the Blood Angels on the wrong side of the wall. And yet here they are as flagship releases.
The most beneficial thing from the gigantic warp rift that spans the galaxy is the fact that it blocked a bunch of Tyranidded fans.
That it did. It also spawned 2 new broods of them, which isn't great, but
we also saw 2 armies. So we also saw some images on there of forces that you don't normally think about clashing with one another. And that is Nurglings and the Tyrannid. And that awakened a whole new fear for me, which leaves, again, that I still think this is the same equivalent darkness. Could you imagine a Nurgle-infested Tyrannid hive fleet?
Man.
Yeah, so there went Ryan's hope. He just threw it away.
But here's the kicker. It's not the first time it's come up, though. Because, like, in the Tyrannid, the most recent Tyrannid Codex release, there are playable, like, broods. I forget what they actually call their subfactions. Like Leviathan and, like, Hydra and all of them.
Right.
That have emerged along the Maledictum. And that they have evolved through the constant conflict with daemons to get wild new abilities. Now, here's the kicker for me when it comes to the Nurglings, right? It's going to be the same thing that always crops up in Tyranid versus Demon. And that's the fact that demons don't have a physical stuff. They don't have biomass. If you kill one, they just poof and go away.
Yeah.
And so a Nurgle-infested hive fleet would mean that it's actually a significantly weaker fleet. The poison or disease is ravaging it, and they're trying to evolve just as fast as the virus or whatever is evolving. If they manage to consume a demon, that's a whole different ball game. If they can get the powers of the great chaos gods, our faction lines kind of collapse, and I think the universe just dies. But I don't think that the chaos gods would allow it to happen. The Tyranids are just as big a threat to their existence as they are anything else, because they need people with souls and minds.
But again, seeing Papa Nurgle in the background of a smoky setting, laughing as Tyranids are consuming infected guardsmen is like concerning.
Yeah.
In that regard, if he's developed something to where he can then gain control of the Tyranids,
right,
is gonna be awful, because then he can infect other hive fleets. So yeah, maybe it weakens that fleet, but if he can go and
but you're talking about control. What I think he'll actually end up doing, this is my take from the trailer,
or consume and gain power.
Yeah, I think that grand irony, and again back to 40K, right? I think Nurgle's going to save the universe from the Tyranid.
He's the only one that loves us.
Yeah, Grandpa Nurgle loves you.
Papa Nurgle loves you.
And so I think he'll develop some kind of mutagenic, viral, bioweapon nonsense.
It'll definitely be disease related. It's the only thing he knows.
Yeah.
He does also have the Eldari God of Regrowth as a prisoner, in which he can test all of these diseases on. I would not use that word. I feel like kidnapping victim would probably be way more accurate.
Absolutely. But I bet you he comes up with some strain of like screw you virus, because the Tyranid have gotten to a point right now where all throughout 10th edition, it was theorized that they're winning, and there's no stopping them. There are whole spots where what was the big one we talked about, where Tyranid are fighting orcs, and the entire sector is just quarantined by the Inquisition because they have no idea how to stop either side. They're just getting stronger and stronger and stronger in this perpetual loop.
Yep.
And then whoever wins that fight is going to be a galaxy-ending force.
Oh, for sure.
And I think Grandpa Nurgle saving the Imperium with shutting down 90% of the Tyranid invasion force is the most 40K thing ever.
Papa Nurgle is the only chaos god who cares.
We have to look at one thing too, though. I want to mention in regards to like the trailer. A lot of people talked about this. It looks like the Emperor's head is moving.
It's the flash from the different pictures, because you have him sitting up in his like golden armor, and then you have the one where he's like all hunched over and dying. I don't think he's moving. I don't
really think so either. But you got a lot of people that are showing like screenshots and different things on their social media pages and stuff. So it's interesting, because I'm gonna guarantee that Games Workshop's gonna notice stuff like this. It'll be
play with it.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious how they'll play with it.
They'll definitely tease people's feelings.
The Emperor's coming back in one way or another.
I think that's a perfect setup for what Travis said.
That's a game. That's a game-ending deal. Big E just reawakens.
Well, no. Even if they just kill him off, like if he like dies on the throne and like
he's
gets
a perpetual
reborn or whatever.
Yeah,
right. So he has to be reborn. Right. But I'm just saying, I do feel like this is the edition where they're gonna make some sort of fucking decision with it, and it'll be fun to see what they
do. To be fair, just to jump in, Horus Heresy exists as a game, and he was very much up and kicking during that.
That's true, but you can't field him. It's not like you can just pop Biggie on the board,
right? But now I think what that lanes into more than anything, right? They're not going to bring Biggie back before they bring all the Primarchs back and be able to squeeze all that money out. They'll bring all the Primarchs back before they do that.
Maybe, but
So they're not going to make a model for the Emperor, but here's why it is interesting that that's happened.
No, I think it's a narrative thing only. It's only for the lore and the books and stuff. I don't think they're gonna make a big E thing. Like I don't think he's coming to the board game itself, but I do feel like he's coming back for the lore itself.
What Travis brought up, right? That the entire video feels like propaganda. Something you have to realize is that since 1988, and even later on when Aaron Dembski-Bowden took over such a heavy deal, it has been openly stated by GW that all of the books, I used the term bias earlier, which is true, but all of the books should be read as if it is through the vein that it's getting to you in universe. It has been edited, redacted, details changed, Alpha Legion exists, the Harlequins exist. Nothing you read in the
Inquisition
novels,
is hiding information.
Yeah, nothing you read in the novels can be considered hard canon because there is no such thing as hard canon in 40K.
And I'm going to disagree with the popular theory that the Emperor is moving, just again, because it flicks through the same 3 images in various states of Zoom or various artist renditionings of the Emperor and the Golden Throne, right? You have the sleek black hair, golden armor, height of the Imperium of Man Emperor. And then the next one, you have the stoic skeletal figure that's sitting very upright with great posture, by the way, sitting very upright, hooked up to the Golden Throne. And then you have some of the more obviously darker images of him where he's this semi-skeletal husk, just kind of like in his chair. And so the whole he's moving thing I found to be absolute bollocks.
I do think though that's why they're going to be dealing with though. They showed him for a reason. I feel like he's going to finally die and do the reborn thing.
He's been dead.
Well, but
I think now he's going to be able to be reborn. Is going to be the whole point of it for like the storyline and stuff like that. Is he's going to actually be able to completely pass away and then come back however they do it. Like I don't know if it says a baby and he's reborn or if it says
no, you just come back. Vulcan just the same as ever perpetual. You die Vulcan's and then just reappear somewhere.
Well, here's the kicker, right? If we take it as a propaganda video, which Travis, I love the analogy. I think it's really good.
It's 100% what it was.
I think that could be great. However, I think Eric might be onto something because of what I brought about earlier, right? Every new edition has a major lore adjustment, whether it's the fall of Cadia and the splitting of the galaxy or whatever, right? We've been primed with a handful of information to set us up for this event, if Eric is right. A, they've already learned how to navigate with the Astronomicon, so they don't need it anymore. That alleviates that, our world is over if the chair doesn't work. And B, they're bringing people back, which they've done before, but usually there's a lot more pseudoscience lead up to bringing people back from the dead in 40K until you get to Yarick, which from what I can tell, it's the orcs' fault.
That's why the Emperor is stuck around so long. Everything's the orcs' fault. They're in control of everything. They just don't realize they have any control over anything because that would ruin the game.
And so, I really think that Eric could be right. But it's not going to be as simple or as dried cut as, first off, he's not coming back as perpetual. It ain't going to happen. And my reasons for that is that this is where we drift away from shit that I know versus shit what I believe. I think that the act of being a perpetual is tied to the soul. I think having a immutable soul is what lets you kind of reconstitute your vessel and reject the warp's embrace. I think that's how perpetuals work. Big E's soul is screwed. Because
it's been tied to that chair for 10,000
years. Yeah. He's not just Swiss cheese. That dude is string cheese, already pulled apart and tossed into the wind. I personally believe the light of the Astronomicon is that. I think it's literal threads of him stretching across the galaxy. And
if anything, I see a reawakening as another chaos entity, because you have to think
that I could see
the warp was not always this devastating,
it used to be very calm
evil, terrifying place. It was fairly calm. Obviously, it had its dark spots. So you had bad neighborhoods you didn't want to go to. The height of man, the fall of the Eldar, and the height of man coming up and coming down. Obviously, the war in heaven, all of which really fed the evil aspects of the warp entities, because you see in the stories more than once, which again, it's all canon and it's not canon, but you see more than once non like evil warp entities. May not necessarily be good, right? But they're not bad either, right? The warp is potentially has neutral places, or even semi-benevolent beings, right? They may not be outright good, but they're at least not trying to eat you.
Yep.
So I can see Biggie waking up. I think the narrative place we're going to, I think we're going to see the activation of the Last Wall Protocol, and I have a handful of evidence for this. While the Blood Angels are the flagship poster boys, because they have committed the largest percentage, I guess, of Space Marines to Armageddon for its defense, is the Blood Angels, right? They're on the flagship. They're the ones leading the charge. I'm fine with that. That's followed very closely always by the Ultramarines, because they're everywhere, because there's like 10 bajillion founding, like second founding chapters of Ultramarines. Space Wolves have a pretty dedicated force. I think we're going to see Ragnar take a second crack at Ghazghkull Mag-Uruk Thraka because he didn't get him the first time. However, Dorn, I think, is going to be the next Primarch coming back. And I think we're going to see the activation of the Last Wall Protocol, because they are a ton, I mean a ton, of his foundings, like second founding chapters at Armageddon for this like narrative that they're releasing, to include High Marshal of
the Black
Templars, who have dedicated, which again, it's hard to tell how much this force is, because it could be anywhere between 200 to 20,000. They have dedicated an entire Crusade fleet.
Yep. Well, and therein lies the problem, right? There's been a lot of discussion over the presence of so many chapters on Armageddon. Now, something everybody kind of forgets is that mankind is a dichotomy in universe. The one thing that has kept the Imperium of Man going is that there is a metric shit ton of people. Like, there are more people than there are Tyranids, something to bear in mind.
Yes.
By an astronomical factor.
For now.
Inversely, the most powerful weapon that mankind has is the Space Marine. Now, the Space Marines are not very numerous. In general, there is, the way it should work if you were following the Codex, which over half of them have abandoned at this point.
It's just a book. My chapter can't even read.
You were supposed to have 10 companies of 100 soldiers. This is not including support staff or, anything like that. You have 100 Marines in each company, 10 companies for 1,000 Marines per chapter. Now, the Black Templar get around that because they don't have to keep track of their numbers when they're on crusade. So they're just always crusading.
That's not true. They have a recruiting force that never exceeds 1,000 Marines. Ever.
But we've had 15 chapters acknowledge that they're going to Armageddon. 15,000 Space Marines is an unbelievable amount.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take.
I actually have the list of all of them that are going.
Lay them out.
No, it's a long list. There's so many.
So I'll just give you the major chapters that are going. Yeah. Blood Angels are the lead force. Ultramarines, Salamanders, Space Wolves, White Scars, and Iron Hands are the main chapters that are going.
Those are the largest commitment.
Yeah, so that's the big ones that are going. Even the Salamanders that are super low in numbers, I think they're sending 6 companies themselves.
Which
what this is glossing over is the fact that while the Imperial Fists themselves aren't sending a massive force, there is a ton of their little sub-chapters there, like more so than any other chapter, to include the Ultramarines, which have the most sub-chapters.
I think there's nine sub-chapters going. I'll just read them real quick. Crimson Fists, Nova Marines, Sons of Guilliman, Sons of Aurora, Angels of Fury, Dark Krakens, Black Dragons, Storm Giants, Red Talons.
Okay.
And then you also have Black Templar, Celestial Lions, Subjugators, Stormlords. So like that's a lot of people going.
I think 6 of those are Dorn descendant.
See, and that's originally I have to actually make a retraction for something I said earlier. I had to look it up. So Armageddon is close to the Maledictum, but is technically on the Maledictum Sanctus. It's on the light side. And so
it's also the most important manufactorum in the galaxy.
Which is the only reason we haven't blown it to smithereens at this point. Gotta
have more Baneblades.
Let's face it. Yeah, this planet should have been consigned to exterminatus and destruction 5,000 years ago. But they won't do it because it is one of the most important manufactorums.
It not even that. Beyond its status as a manufactorum, it's also a like hub for warp routes.
Yeah.
Like it has many purposes. Its big one being the manufactorum, which is why they're always fighting for Armageddon, which is like the joke is like if I was born on Armageddon, I would move, but then the real laugh is that if you're born on Armageddon, you're not leaving.
Yeah. Well, and that's the kicker with so many. Like, there's a lot of guardsmen lore that comes up with Armageddon. So there's an entire dedicated like playable force that is the Armageddon force called the Steel. What's the people from Armageddon called?
I believe it's the Legion of. Is it the Legion of Steel?
Checking. Yes, the Armageddon Steel Legion.
Steel Legion. That's what it was.
I've never paid a lot of attention to them, despite the fact I was actually playing Guardsmen when the last Armageddon box set released.
Yeah, but you went all Cadian.
Yeah, Cadians for life. I'm not moving anymore. I think they're cool. I think they have a really cool look. I love their tactics. I love their lore. They're a little close to oh man, I cannot remember the names of my legions right now. Between the gas mask and the bucket helmet.
Oh, Death Corps of Krieg.
Yeah, Krieg. Thank you. They look a lot like the Kriegsmen, but their lore is so the opposite that it doesn't actually matter.
They can take their masks off. The Kriegsmen can't because they're horrendously mutated under there, and they would get exterminatus.
I don't think that's the case. I think that's propaganda. I think what the kicker is that they're all clones. And so
all of these guys are Frank.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about in regards to this box set is one thing that Games Workshop did, I think that was pretty cool, is there's no particular models in the Armageddon set for the Space Marine side. That is only one faction. So it's pretty cool the fact that like you can do a lot of the different chapters with this box. You don't have to just go with Blood Angels. Oh. So if you check it out, the way they released it, you can actually go with any of the chapters. There's no, now obviously some chapters will fare better with the particular miniatures that are in the box. Like I was looking like Black Templars is probably a nice one to do with the particular models that came with it. With the Blood Angels being a close second. But yeah, since there's no specific characters to chapter, they were smart because you can, if you're not a fan of Blood Angels and you want to buy the box set, you can. You just got to have your own paints and you can do it a different way. Right. So that's a really nice thing that Games Workshop did. It was very smart to do it too, with so many different forces that are invading in Armageddon. It gives you a lot of opportunities to do different things. Now, when you look at it, I'm
pick your own adventure.
Player. Right. Yeah. I'm a Salamander player, so it's not, the box set is not great for me. When you look at it, because I think there's 1 or 2 units that, well, they are I could still do Salamander. It's just they're not great.
I can actually jump in. So
Salamanders still have standard Marines.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm just in particular units. I think it was the jump unit. I think that I was reading about that, like, they're not great as Salamanders. Like, obviously they are, but they're not like
it's usable, but it's not.
You can
the
still
best
field
ever,
them.
Yeah. It's just they're
Let
not.
me jump in real quick.
Chapter.
For those of you that are listening that are Space Marine players, these are the data sheets you're getting with the Armageddon box set. You get the captain, a chaplain with a jump pack, a librarian, an ancient, an intercessor squad, a veteran vanguard squad, an eradicator squad, and a land speeder. They brought the land speeders into a flagship box. I can't believe it. The land speeder's been such an ignored unit for the last 15 years.
Everybody likes a good land speeder. I miss my motor skickles.
This is actually, Eric, you're absolutely correct. This nearly any chapter could grab this box and field it.
This is a dope box.
If
you're
box.
an orc player, this is a really good box for you.
If you're an orc player, it's an unbelievably good box.
It's a really good box if you're an orc player.
But this is one thing that's nice. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Games Workshop was very smart with the release because it gives you a lot of ways to field your army and like not have a bunch of issues.
Absolutely true.
It was smart because if they would have put particular units, especially for Blood Angels, then it makes it a lot more difficult to kind of jump in and change the army over. So kudos to you, Games Workshop. I mean, smart.
In the interest of being fair, these are our orc data sheets. You get a war boss, a big boss, a banner knob, pain boy, weird boy, a box of boys, a set of Gretchen.
2 boxes of boys.
2 boxes of boys? Hell yeah. Ooh, a war track. Hell yeah. And a big mech DACA rig, which I don't know. Is that new?
That's their Dreadnought equivalent now.
The DACA rig? Well, what happened to the killer cans?
It's Big Mech.
Oh, Big Mech's an actual, like, dude, you're talking about the killer cans.
Oh, is Big Mech a named guy?
No, not a named guy. It's kind of like being in a war priest or an apothecary. A Big Mech is their like fabricator generals guys.
I thought that was their weird boys.
Weird boys are psychers.
But yeah, so that was the one thing I did want to bring up. It was just genius fucking idea.
Yeah,
maybe that's their answer to the Redemptor Dreadnought pattern that came out with the Primaris. This could be the orcs' response to that. It's like, hey, we need a better killer can.
Which, truth be told, just having the orcs, you could do anything with your army of orcs, right? They have no real like general issue. They don't have a standard pattern, and so you have data sheets that you have to use, but
that is not, Ryan. That's not true. They have a standard pattern that they always follow. Red goes fast, yellow explodes, blue is lucky, and purple is stealthy.
What I mean by that is they don't have a standard template for their vehicles.
You ever seen a purple orc?
Oh. Data sneakiest. But no, Eric's absolutely right. I think that is a fantastic box for everybody involved. If you're a Space Marine player and Orc player, this is a great box to get in.
This definitely leans better towards the Orc side.
I think so. I think that especially if that Big Mech DACA rig is a new unit, that is very, very cool.
Yeah, so it comes standard with the Blitz Cannon, Rocket Launcher, and Stompy Feet, which if you don't know, Stompy Feet is their melee attack, which is exactly as you don't have to read too deep into any orc naming scheme. That's not
pretty generic.
It's not complex.
It'll tell you exactly what it does.
Yeah.
That's again, the naming scheme.
My favorite model that has ever come out for the orcs was Truck with 2 Ks.
Yeah, with 2 Ks.
Truck. And it was a truck.
It was a pickup. It was a Toyota Hilux.
It was a transport. Yeah, that you could put orc boys in the back. But yeah, so I mean, this is, like I said, good box all in all. I'm leaning. I know there's going to be people that'll counter me on it. I think again, this leads in favor of the orcs, in my opinion. But I've been out of the game as far as competitive Warhammer plays go since like midway through 8th edition.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a great way to give you 2 armies. Like, I bought the starter set for 10th edition, and like that was cool to get the 2 factions. Like, you got your Space Marines and the other one.
Tyranids was last edition.
Yeah. Tyranids got a lot of attention through 10th edition because of the flagship release. No, I'm excited. I think it'll be cool to go back to orcs. I know we're getting at the end of the episode, so here's my take on it. Eric is right. I think this is a fantastic box. I think it's overpriced, but I think everything from GW is overpriced.
Yeah.
I think the sculpts are beautiful for both sides of the army. I think they're fantastic. I think the box is very much open and generic enough to allow any Space Marine player and any Orc player to benefit from it significantly. It's also a great starting point if you're looking to start new armies. Both of these are fantastic launch pads for both of those. I'm also, as the last note, I'm so excited that Orcs are back at being a flagship release. And the reason is because Scale Creep sucks, and the last time the Orcs came out with the Codex, it dominated everything. And
Travis, real quick before you give yours, what do you think the points are for the two armies in this set? Like 500 point armies?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Probably 8.
Could be 8.
Vehicles are pretty expensive.
Just to give people an idea units. if they want to play. Like
I would say expect a 500 point army with some customization options.
So I combat patrols.
Yeah, about a combat patrol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Needs to be pretty close. Good news is as far as the cost, right? So $295, which is their MSRP. You can buy it off the website when it releases on Saturday. If you are a Space Marine player and you are friends with an Orc player, that is a $150 box, which is the same as a combat patrol. I have done this in the past with 8th edition, I believe, and one of my friends. We 50-50'd it. He was an Orc player. I'm a Space Marine player. I picked out the Space Marine out of the box. He took all the Orcs. It halved the cost. So if you've got a buddy, or if you and a friend are just looking to get into Warhammer and decide to pick up the starter box for 11th edition, you 50-50 it, and it's right around the same cost as a combat patrol. So you're not going to be breaking the bank.
Yeah.
Or if you're greedy, you can just buy the box for yourself and have 2 armies, and it's $300. So you do whatever you want.
Actually, I got to give props to Travis here. According to a Reddit post, and breakdowns from Thrift Hammer, they're about 750 points aside, with, as displayed, the Orcs being at 750 points and the Space Marines being at 720.
I was pretty close. That was a pretty good eyeball. Everybody really underestimates the mech units and like vehicles, how really expensive they are.
Ironically, the mech, you're right, but the new buggy, the vehicle, the War Tracks, is only 60 points.
Yeah, but that's just a little dude riding the War Track. The big mech Daka machine or whatever it's called is probably the big point dump, or the War Boss.
Yeah, the big mech Daka rig was 130 points.
Yeah.
Now, Thrift Hammer combined all the characters, so War Boss, Pain Boy, Weird Boy, Big Boss, and Banner Boy is 360 points combined.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, character models always a significant points increase. But yeah, my recommendation is if you have a friend you want to split this with, do it.
Yeah, do it. This is a good box. I would buy this box.
If you want to stand in line at a store to get a physical copy when the physical ones come out, make friends with people in line, because I guarantee you there's going to be an Orc player in there that doesn't have a friend that's a Space Marine player, or vice versa. Make friends in line. Split it.
Yep.
50-50 it.
That is a fact. I've done that exact thing.
Yeah. So, I think with that, that's this episode concluded. 11th edition drops on Saturday. Don't forget to get in the queue early.
Yep.
Or you will miss it. You're not showing up late to this party and getting one.
That is a fact. For those of you who's listened to this far, guys, obviously you're enjoying what you're hearing. 3 nerdy dudes talk about Warhammer. If you did enjoy your time here as much as we did, please let us know. Give us a comment down below. Let us know what you liked, disliked, things that we forgot, or what your favorite kind of part about the upcoming release for 11th edition is. Additionally, give us a like, give us a follow, tell your friends about us, and help us do all that fun algorithm stuff that keeps the lights on around here. The best place to support the channel, of course, is to buy some merch. Our summer line is out right now, and it's kick-ass. And you know what? If you're not following us, you should be, because we know the way.
Eric, you got anything else?
I'm just trying to think schedule-wise what we're looking at doing next week. We're gonna get back to like planning ahead of time, but right now, just everything's been crazy.
Been a rough one for coordination. Yeah, I
mean,
in recent events, Eric has moved Ryan has moved.
Mm-hmm.
James has gone through 2 very large personal life events, one of which is why he's not here tonight. I have
It's been a
been
wild
dealing.
time.
Yeah, I have been dealing with what I can only describe as the plague house, because my child will pick up every cold he comes across and bring it home to us. So it's been a wild
God
year, and
bless.
we appreciate you guys sticking with us.
Sticking with us. And you know
So,
what?
yeah,
It's
we
to your
will
advantage, because those of you that are listening that want us to do a
Die
particular
hard.
episode,
let us
that
know.
want us to know about, we never did Gundam again. Please do Gundam again. If you tell us, we listen. So put it down in the comments below. It's to your advantage.
I am thinking we're gonna probably do orcs next week. We've never.
Hell
touched
yeah, I'll
on
do some orcs.
Oh yeah.
With them being in the big release, I think it's a great idea to hit some orc stuff up.
Let's do it.
Just so everybody knows that's I think that's the best way to go about it, is hit up orcs, and kind of give people some ideas of what they can add to the box and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, we can talk about Ryan's favorite orc who time traveled to kill himself so he could get a second
better
copy of
gun.
his favorite gun.
Hell
oh
yeah.
my God. Hey,
All right, Travis, drum us out of here.
And with that, we're going to bring this episode to a close. We're crossing the Nerdverse. Find us wherever you get your podcast from, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.
See y'all.
Goodbye.
It's nice to say goodbye. Goodbye.